I've had a bunch of girls like friend zone me, and
Ladies want one thing and one thing only, and that is muscle daddies. I taught you how to catch the fish, okay? I didn't feed the man a fish. I taught you how to fish right now.
I get murdered is like a pretty big imbalance.
How you guys doing? My name's Krishna. Thank you all for being here and talking through masculinity, what it means to be a man, etc. Obviously, we couldn't fit every man in the country into this room. We tried to get a diverse perspective, but of course, that caveat, we're not everyone. I wanted to start by telling you why this is something that I'm interested in. I have an 8-year-old son, and I'm seeing him absorb what manliness might mean.
Uh-oh, he's on TikTok. You know his ass is watching Andrew Tate, bro. He's like 8 years old. Instead of talking about how girls have cooties, he's like, Dad, women are bitches, Dad. Women are bitches, Dad.
Thinking to myself, like, what does it mean to be a man? To start, maybe we could just introduce each other.
Dad, why don't you have a Bugatti, Dad?
To each other. And if you were to describe what it means to be a man or to be masculine.
My name is Tahoe. I'm a black man from the hood. When I was young, being a man, you had to be tough. You had to be hard. And now, to me, being a man is a lot different. Now, to me, being a man is knowing when to be soft. Knowing that you don't always have to run the charge. You can actually...
God damn, that's... Oh, shit. Okay, spitting.
Listen, you know what I mean? So things have changed a lot over the course of the years for me.
I'm Griffin, and I don't identify as a man. I'm non-binary. I still have elements of, my identity that are masculine, elements that are feminine, elements that don't fall within that range. And I personally just don't feel tied to like the norms or the confines of gender at all.
Well, welcome.
My name is Dylan, and I think that the notion of masculinity is just something that can be possessed by man or woman. Man, woman, non-gender conforming person. What it means to be masculine is just like, changing and like very fluid. But I think that, masculinity is something that just, like you embody based off of just like how you show up in this world as a man and just like, how you go about being your day-to-day.
How you show up. Interesting.
Yes.
What's up, guys? My name is Paul. I'm a fitness entrepreneur.
Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. No shot. No shot. Are you MB phobic?
Or as the woman being like, oh, this sucks.
Oh God. Oh God. This is gonna be fucking awful.
Or as the woman being like,
wait, what? No, what? You're such a piece of shit. Fuck you. Suck my dick.
I'm an immigrant. I came here when I was 4 years old with my family.
Oh God. Here it is. Okay. Watch this motherfucker cook. Okay. He said fitness entrepreneur. Okay. He said, oh no, he's immigrant family, came here when he was young. I'm seeing all the markers.
It's kind of funny how we're talking about it. My take on masculinity is not about talking as much as doing. I think at its core, a man has to be efficient, competent, and be willing to do what it takes for themselves and their loved ones.
I was not always a good man. I was not always what you would call a healthy masculine man. And so as my life has changed, I've identified 5 points that I think make a truly masculine man masculine.
Okay.
I think point number 1 is a man who walks with God.
I think people who wear bucket, like 10-gallon hats like this when they're not at the fucking rodeo or at a quinceañera are clowns, okay? And I think most people from Texas would also agree with me on this matter, okay? Like, there are places to wear these fucking hats, and I love wearing them too. I love playing dress up just as much as the most masculine Texan man does, okay? But when you're wearing it to a fucking panel, a Vice panel, a shot in like fucking Los Angeles, California, you're putting on a fashion show, brother, okay? You are. It's obvious. You like doing cosplay, okay? You're doing cosplay as a yee man, okay? A real man shows respect to their others and takes his fucking hat off when he's indoors. What are you hiding from? God? There's no sun rays inside. Why the hell are you wearing a goddamn 10-gallon hat indoors? Take the fucking hat off. I'm from Texas. Only motherfuckers in rural areas just like that. Paris, Texas, that strip. I mean, even those guys will probably take their hat off when they're indoors out of respect for their for the people around them.
Point number 2 is a man who stands on principle. Point number 3, which is a masculine man, is self-sacrificing. So someone who is willing to sacrifice for point 4, the people that he leads. A true man is a leader. And number 5.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Stop ragging on him. He's probably bald. You're right. You're right. He's follically challenged. We don't use the B word here. He is follically disabled. Okay. And honestly, I'm sorry for making fun of the medical condition of male pattern baldness. Okay. I apologize. He probably is bald. I said it again. He probably is follically disabled. Okay. It's a condition. Let's continue.
A masculine man is never a coward.
That's a lot there.
Yeah.
Let's get into that as we go on.
I think what it means to be a man is responsibility. As a man, it can come with a lot of power. And with great power comes great responsibility. In short words.
Okay, not bad.
That's it.
That's from
Honestly, listen, I mean, that's most sane man from Florida. Okay, avoided that. So far, with the exception of like the yee ass, like, God, being a man is about being a leader, leading your flock. A shepherd does not concern themselves with the opinions of sheep, that kind of shit. Aside from like the bullshit, like conservative sheepdog narrative, which is a fantasy, by the way, of course. It's been pretty good so far.
Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah, that's what
Uncle Ben.
James.
Well, my name is James Killen, former United States Marine turned Air Force officer. Got a couple combat tours, but I'm also a father of 3 girls who mellowed me out. The idea of masculinity is something that I find interesting because it is changing, and I can actually see those changes in myself. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this panel.
Thanks for your service. Andre.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, men. I think my idea of a real man is, someone that...
One who sits around and watches Andrew Tate all day. Like, that's what manly men do. Being a real man is about, watching another guy tell you what a real man is. That's what I do all day. And that's why I'm the realest man here.
Gets the job done, and provides and all that. I don't even know what that means anymore, but I don't know. It's changing every day.
How do you think it's changing?
No, it just seems like everything's changing every day. It's like a new world order, so I don't... I have a hard time keeping up with stuff, so...
What the fuck? Yo, dog, what do you mean, brother? What the fuck? Dude, some of these motherfuckers do need to clean their rooms, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, fix your shit first, okay? Before you start thinking about the new world order, okay? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I feel like tomorrow it's going to be something else, and people are going to comment and be like, you're wrong, it's this now.
It is hard to talk about some of this stuff because you feel like you might say the wrong thing.
I'm not really masculine myself, so I feel like I'm like the wrong person to ask.
Maybe the right person to ask. Christian.
What it means to be a man is to be a adult human male.
That's sort of a very formal definition, but I think that might be a good...
Oh no, Christian, stop. Oh no, friend of the show, Christian Walker, dude. He's about to come in hot with some transphobia. You know he had to find like an avenue to shove some transphobic takes in.
Good place to kick off because there's a lot of talk.
Like, that's not. Do you think it's masculine? Honestly, you think it's masculine or manly to just like constantly fucking chirp endlessly about trans people? Even like on the traditional forms of masculinity, which is like outdated, antiquated, silly, stupid. Nobody's like, oh man, I love fucking chirping about trans. That's what real men do. Chirp about trans people all fucking day, brother. You understand? Me and the boys, we're taking the cows out to pasture and we're having a good old yuck. Good old fashioned yuck, constantly thinking about trans penis. Okay? Girl penis. Girl dick. That's always on my mind, brother. That's what it's about. Gossiping.
of writing, of research these days that says there's a crisis in masculinity. Is there a crisis in masculinity? And if so, like, what is that crisis?
The thing that I see is a lot of deconstructing generational trauma. The be a man, boys don't cry, this, that, and the other thing. And I think that's actually one of the reasons why we see it as a crisis, because we're actually trying to redefine what it means to be a man, and none of us have any idea.
I'll tell you what, okay? A lot of people always ask me this. I'll tell you what people think masculinity is first, okay? Masculinity or femininity are a set of attributes, right? We already understand that. It's like associated with men, boys, whatever, right? But because of that vagueness of the definition, most people in a patriarchal society attribute masculinity with positive values, specifically confidence, okay? And I think that's false. I think confidence is a separate thing. You can be confident in your femininity, you can be confident in your masculinity, and you can be confident in general. But a lot of people literally just think being masculine, being an alpha male, is just being a strong, confident individual, okay? And that's it. That's it. All of this other conversation about like traditional masculinity versus masculinity now, like all of this shit is dumb. Because everybody instinctively understands what you mean when you say, oh, that guy's an alpha male right there, okay? Whether or not the terminology of an alpha male is true or not, which it isn't, we already know that, none of that matters. When someone contextually points to a person and says alpha male, it's the same as big dick energy, it's the same as fucking confidence, you're basically substituting it. That's it. Okay?
Because we're just out here trying to be whoever we are.
That's right. I think that historically, being a man was rooted in patriarchy and misogyny. And now we realize how harmful that has been over the years. And so we don't really know how to define where we're supposed to be. And I think the reason, as they're saying, is a crisis is because the box has gotten so small for just being, say, straight. Just being a hetero, right? Because if you do anything, women judge you.
What do you mean anything?
If I dance a certain way, or if I wear my hair a certain way, if I dress a certain way, they go, real men don't do that. Real men don't do that. And
which is ironic. He's right. No, don't say he's, no, what do you mean? No, he's not crying. What the fuck are you talking about? He's right. He's saying he can't even be like secure in whatever the fuck he wants to do without people constantly redefining everything to be like outside of this narrowly defined box of masculinity, when he can be a masculine figure, which I think he is. And like the moment that he doesn't fit that like narrow, those like narrowly defined boundaries, which is oftentimes like hyper individualized as well, and like has a wider fucking net depending on who you're talking to, like people make fun of him. And I don't know why you guys fucking immediately jump down his throat. He's not wrong.
And so you get scared to move a certain way because you don't want to get judged or outed out of the accepted part of your community. And I think that kind of has us in an uproar, and we don't know where to be. Like, where's the safe place to be for men now? You know what I mean? And it's kind of disturbing.
I was what you would call a toxic masculine male growing up. And I had good men that sewed into me, they gave me good advice, but I never found manhood or never understood my place as a man until one day I humbled myself and I gave my life to the Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you right now, walking with God changed my life forever.
Yes!
Can you define toxic masculinity? Like,
I would say toxic.
Being humbled by sexy ass Jesus was what my come to God moment, okay? God, I love born agains, dude. Ugh, American politics is fun. It's funny in and of itself, okay? Only made funnier by the existence of evangelical born again Christians, okay? They are fucking awesome. Just like Jesus came down on me, took his veiny cock. It was throbbing. I put it in my mouth, and I said, I am servile. I am your pig. I'm your fuck pig, Jesus. And I gave myself to you. And that's when I became a man. Also, simultaneously, being a real man is about being your own man, forging your own goddamn path, but also submitting yourself to God.
Masculinity is like what he was just saying, where you're using that leadership role or that aggressive nature in a harmful way to harm other people, to get your way. So the biblical structure for manhood is very humble. It's self-sacrifice. It's not self-motivated, but it is motivated by principle and standing on what's right. So there is a clear-cut vision for manhood in the Bible that I live by, and I think our culture used to live by, and I think our culture has lost its way.
I think everybody sort of has a different definition of toxic masculinity. I don't find masculinity toxic in and of itself.
Men waking up every morning to the new terms and conditions of being a man. Dating a man who makes monthly photo dumps is wild. This is so good. Exactly. I mean, this is something you see all the fucking time, okay? These are unironically, and oftentimes women, okay, that also have a tendency to fucking believe in weird patriarchal constructs themselves, weird heteronormative patriarchal constructs themselves, who turn around and fucking seriously try to say men have to be in this like weird fucking narrow box. And then other dudes can't even have fun. You know what I mean? If you want to do a photo dump, you do a fucking photo dump. Like, I personally think it's funny. When like there's a lot of TikToks out there where it'll be like men who wear glasses, especially like, you know, circle glasses. Like, what are you doing, you fucking slut? Like, what do you think you're doing? You're out here showing that to the people, you know? How dare you? That kind of thing. I think it's funny. It's funny. But yeah, sometimes the misogyny is coming from inside the house. Of course, because gender norms are incredibly powerful. This is at the heart of transphobia. Gender norms they have to be rigid. They have to be powerful. It guides our existence. It's one of the few things that is not a cultural signifier in the form of commodity consumption that you can point to that makes you you. And unfortunately, for everyone, it's not real. It's not a real thing. It's a socially defined construct. You know what I mean? It's made up. We socially decided this is what we're supposed to do. And it has changed throughout time. And periods of change oftentimes are going to have, tumultuous. What the fuck? Why are you as a man drinking lemonade? Fuck it. I'm non-binary now. This shit getting crazy. You chasing in a non-binary lemonade lover. A lot of these are jokes. I mean, every part of this is a joke, and I do like it. Okay? But then there are some that are not jokes, which is fucking annoying.
How can I be gay when I
Oh, I've seen this guy. When they'll be like, are you straight? And he's like, yes, honey. I am hetero.
Hetero. How can I be gay when I like vajayjay? Hetero. How can I be gay when I like vajayjay? Hetero. How can I be gay when I like vajayjay? Hetero. How can I be gay when I like vajayjay? When I like vajayjay? Hetero. How can I be gay when I like vajayjay? Hetero. How can I be gay when I like vajayjay?
I love this. This is awesome. What a banger. Ultimately, it's like, you know what's funny? It's like all of this is just an abolition of gender constructs. Like all of this, even those jokes themselves are like inherently playing that role of like abolishing gender norms by showing how fucking stupid it is. You know what I mean? Whether they intended to do that or not, that's kind of what this is, what is happening here. Why do you think everyone is obsessed with debating masculine aesthetics but not gatekeeping feminine aesthetics? Some people do that. They're TERFs though. They're fucking weird and gross. Or radfems, which are also weird and gross. I don't know, man. Look, my argument always is like, whenever someone, what's that fucking famous interview where someone goes, how many genders are there? And the guy goes, I don't know, I just got here. Okay, that's my take. You just live and let live. Be fucking normal. Who gives a shit? Actually. Or the Joe Biden one where he goes, at least 3. It's just considering that like what 90% of what all these like fucking podcast listening men consider to be a masculine trait is actually just being confident. Just be fucking confident, okay? That's it.
But I do believe in bad men and bad men exist. But does that mean every man is toxically masculine? No.
When you're talking about a crisis on masculinity, I think that there's a lack of understanding there. So it's like masculinity, being masculine isn't toxic. It's just like there are portions of it that you can dive into that make it toxic.
Because I think a lot of what we think of masculinity is tied into patriarchy, right? Which is to say, like, for the longest period of human history, like, men dominated women and got the lion's share of stuff.
I think a lot of times some people make masculinity into a caricature, like it has to be this alpha bro tough guy.
Exactly.
And I find the low-key guy who, you know, is a really great father and a great husband and maybe not like drinking raw eggs every day to be a lot more masculine than the alpha.
Okay, where are the podcasts listening? I cannot believe I'm saying this. Where are the real men? Okay? This panel, very suspiciously, is devoid of the Andrew Tate fans, of the Joe Rogan heads. Even fucking Christian Walker is coming across normal in this interview. Where are the homies at? Where's Aiden Ross? We need some real representation out here. The dudes that be like, hold up. Actually, nah, dog. Being a man is about eating raw meat and listening to the Joe Rogan Experience, okay? That's what being a man's about. The Asian dude is a Tate fan for sure. Oh, the one in the back? He literally said he's, like, not masculine. So, yeah, you're probably right.
For bro who's going and, like, banging 20 women per weekend and not a responsible man. I find it more masculine to be a good guy.
I think that
this panel of men is more progressive than the women's panel. No, literally. Even the conservative ones have like decent takes on masculinity. What the fuck is going on right now? Vice, come on, Vice. Vice said, no, I don't support all you women. Some of you bitches are dumb as hell. And then he said, no, men on the other hand, they're actually very reasonable. Let's have an honest conversation with some very reasonable and intelligent men here, some of which had different opinions, okay? Some of which do. But also, they will still have a voice here, and they will still say some normal shit. What is happening? Why? Why did they do? How did they do this? Really? They rigged it. They rigged it. They brought like, even Christian Walker has like a relatively decent understanding of like what it means to be like a decent man, okay? He himself might not fit the bill, okay? Or maybe he does, but he certainly doesn't behave that way with his output. His output is like not very decent, okay? Specifically transphobia, specifically the anti-black racism in many respects, okay? That's like, you know, part of being a conservative mouthpiece. But like, even he is like decent here. What is happening? Let him cook. I bet this gets weird as fuck. Yeah, why is this like, yeah, notice how the Marine veteran is the one who's a generational trauma? Dude, what is going on? Yeah, you have like a hoorah guy who's like, I've done 3 combat tours. Also, honestly, being masculine is about abolishing gender norms, as a matter of fact. As a father of 3 daughters myself, I believe that men are trash. What is going on? Sir, as a proud U.S. Marine, I'd like to say that gender non-conforming individuals are braver than the troops. In a society that has taught us rigid gender norms, these the emperors out here are doing the Lord's work by abolishing gender norms, sir. Hi, U.S. Marine, he, him, 3 combat tours. What is happening?
Background of this is that we are saying that gender is this like real thing that has real ideas and implications. And Griffin, I'm wondering, as someone who identifies as non-binary, how does this conversation strike you?
Well, I think that it kind of becomes like irrelevant whether or not we attribute like having like a good ethical compass to being like masculine. Attributing that to like the gender constructs which we have made up, which are like somewhat pointless, like kind of just feed into needless roles that uphold the patriarchy without even knowing it. A lot of those things are just things that people should be doing because they're like morally right. Like if you're in a family, you should probably support your family. And I really don't think that it has to do with like your manhood.
They're 100% correct, by the way. Like, I'm gonna be shocked if look, let's be real, okay? As woke as everyone here is, like, I think you still probably understand that the average fucking dude, okay, the average man is not going to focus on the message here and actually maybe focus on the messenger themselves a little bit more in this circumstance, and probably even like not listen to it. But maybe I'm fucking wrong. Let's hear it. Let's see. These guys are pretty woke so far, okay?
These characteristics that we're talking about are baked into an old system of domestic life.
I think that's actually where we
Cowboy hat clocking them like, dang, them look kind of like Daisy Duke. Stop. Listen, maybe I'll take you back to the pasture, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe we'll have a little Jake Gyllenhaal style. Maybe we'll have a Jake Gyllenhaal style action sequence at the tent at night. Them Colorado nights get cold in the mountainside. Got to use whatever you got at your disposal to make sure we got body heat. Body to body. I can't quit you, I tell you. In the middle of the night, I write haikus. You're wearing boots. I'm wearing boots. Meet each other halfway.
we get toxic masculinity. Like, none of us can really describe what it is, but we can see it when it happens.
So we learn it, right?
Yeah.
This is something we learned from the world. It's something we learned from like TV and shit. And it's maybe something we learned from our dads too. Tell me about your dad.
I'm a first generation kid. My dad is from Guyana. Grew up in very humble beginnings, poor family. First time I remember my dad telling me he loved me was when I was 17. And he was like saying like he was proud of me because I was about to graduate high school and things like that, you know. I'm appreciative of all the other things, you know, being present as a provider. But in terms of like, you know, the conversation piece and like, oh, I want to talk to my dad about, you know, sex or something, or I want to talk to my dad about, oh, this person broke up with me and I'm feeling pretty sad about it. I didn't have those conversations.
So like emotional language as part of like how you talk to your dad.
Yeah.
Okay, this is crazy. This is 10 minutes in and like I have no notes. I'm losing it. What is going on? This panel is doing some fucking agitprop, okay? The female panel was awful, dude. 10 minutes into the fucking feminism, anti-feminism panel, it was already like bedlam. I was losing my shit, okay? This is crazy. This is like wholesome. They're all gonna go get a beer after this. You know what I mean? With the boys.
Manhood came solely from my relationship with God. It didn't come from my father. It didn't come from the good influences around me.
Is God a man?
Yeah, and God is a man. And God is a father, and he's a good father. He's a perfect father. And so I think there is a clear definition of manhood where I guess that's
even
where
the fitness entrepreneur's like, all right, dog, you're being fucking weird right now. Chill.
in the room. I believe manhood is clearly defined by God. It is the perfect example of what a man should be.
Christian, I see you nodding your head.
I grew up in a divorced home. When you do grow up in a broken home and you don't have a father in the home, you recognize how important sort of both males and females are in raising a child and being in the home.
There's a balance between, you know, masculine energy and feminine energy.
Absolutely.
And I feel like there's both within everybody. And so there's a balance that with masculine energy in itself that I think a lot of people have trouble trying to like reconcile within themselves. Like, yes, being a man, you work hard, you take care of your people, but you got to be able to have that emotional side too, which is where the feminine energy comes in.
Y'all just like triggered something in my head when y'all was speaking about having both in the home. To me, I didn't really have it there. And it made me feel a way, but I think that I always wanted one. And so I wound up at a certain age going outside and trying to find what masculinity was outside. And so I went on the corner and there were 20 of us on the corner and none of us had dads. We were all messed up. And so we all taught each other the wrong way to love, to be loved. And then I think in society, there's way more people like that.
And a lot of kids who don't have fathers in the home, excuse me,
you're good, man.
look for that father in the world or in a different way.
This is a very real issue that many of you already have seen the consequences of, and the consequences are Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, and the like. Literally, people who are routinely fatherless behavior in men manifests itself. Like, I know the age-old meme is like, oh, you're fatherless, you became a stripper, you became a sex worker or whatever. Fatherlessness in men leads them down the podcast pipeline. Okay? That's it. Fatherlessness in men lead them to look for male role models, and they think Joe Rogan is that male role model. They think Jordan Peterson is that male role model. They think fucking Andrew Tate, which is the worst iteration of the three, their positive male role model. Is terrible. Be on the lookout.
Yeah. Well, first, I think that attributing proper family values to a heterosexual couple with children is just not effective. I think that it's obviously a hetero.
Also, for the record, yes. Before we continue on with this, obviously, it doesn't matter. When I say fatherlessness, it's mostly just a product of not having positive male role models in someone's life. But that doesn't change the reality that you can still have positive masculine role models in your life. You can still, almost all children born into a household with two parents are still going to have an incredibly healthy development in comparison to a child born into a single parent. Most of that is about disposable income and not necessarily about not having a man or not living in a male-female partnership in the home. That's not it at all. More so about disposable income. You still need positive figures though, positive masculine figures, certainly, but that can still present itself in a lesbian couple or some shit like that. It's not you don't need a man. It doesn't work that way.
Normative take to be man and woman and then a child, and that's how you create a good family. And whether it's a single mother, single father, or a queer couple, I don't think that it's necessary to attribute men and women to certain roles in the household. I think that it's only due to nurture.
You're that guy for Pasty Online Leftist Weirdos? Yeah, well, I know that, and I recognize that responsibility, and that's why I try to fucking lead by decent example. This you? Another way that fatherlessness manifests in men is by, posting this kind of TikTok in the timeline.
Those gender norms that we follow.
Male and female matters. God gives you one of those identities, you take on that role. And now you're responsible for not or for fulfilling that role. There's a masculine crisis because men are not taking responsibilities for the God-given roles that they have in society. And so when you take away the need to say, God made you this or God made you this.
I love when God-loving motherfuckers go crazy for God. Because nobody wants to hear it. One of the main components of why people despise liberals is because of how fucking sanctimonious they are, okay? Let's be real. Liberals love being so fucking right. They love presenting themselves as the moral arbiter of truth and justice, and they're so sanctimonious, and it pisses people off. Everyone's like, nah, fuck that. Shut the fuck up, bitch. God lovers of this magnitude can't shut the fuck up about God. And that is precisely why everyone on that panel, even if they're Christians, will go, dude, shut up. Jesus fucking Christ. You are just relentless. Shut up. Oh my God.
Now you don't have to take responsibility for not fulfilling what you were called to do.
When you do that, you also take away other things that somebody else may do. If I have a woman or a partner that wants to take on certain roles and I say, hey, those are my roles that God gave me in society, now I'm suppressing that person. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. You define who you are and how you behave under God. That's what God gave us, free will.
But also, I think that the religious beliefs should not be used to dictate how other people identify or how other people live their lives.
Humans need predictability, and when we put each other in these boxes, it gives us the opportunity to make decisions quickly. And I think that's what we're fighting is as a civilization at the moment, is the desire to put 7.5 billion people in specific boxes so that we can have some sort of predictability.
I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Ribcorn Andy is just fucking spitting, dude. What is happening? What is happening? They're so fucking good. Dude, this is agitprop. This is agitprop. Men, this is our year, boys. This is our year, boys. 2023 is the year of men, okay? But good men. Not men like Andrew Tate. Good men, all right? On the come up. Men are on the come up big time, okay?
Or stability in our lives. I was an emotionally abusive young man in my 20s because I had an idea of what my wife should do. And it caused a lot of stress.
Why were you the way you were?
You know, I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of pent up rage. I had, some combat stress that I had to deal with also that I wasn't dealing with because men don't show emotion.
There is a social construct that benefits.
Dude, okay. I gotta say something here. Look. We always talk about like bad therapy or some of the worst consequences of therapy. Like, you know how, we talk about like the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been awful on mankind. Okay. So has therapy. Okay. Some bad therapists will just go, yes, queen, and create a fucking process in which like you are basically defending all of your worst urges all the goddamn time and also hyper medicalizing yourself in a way that like makes it impossible to have a normal conversation with you. Okay. That, on the other hand, is good ass therapy. Holy fuck. That's a dude who's just like, that's a dude who literally just went to therapy and was like, I fixed my shit. Oh my God. It's just demonstrate growth. Like, that's awesome.
Responsibility that I've learned as I've gotten older is learning how to not enforce my power, learning over women, over people.
You're saying that role gives men more privilege, like an advantage and privilege. I'm saying that it is more self-sacrificing. I do not have free time. I do not have hobbies. I do not wake up during the day and do what I want to do ever. I'm thinking about my wife, my kids, my business.
But that's your decision, and that's not like a mandatory thing of your masculinity.
Well, if you believe that God is true,
I don't.
And you believe that He is God, then you do have that responsibility.
What privilege are you? Like,
they said I don't.
Referring to, like, what privileges do men have?
We've constructed this entire society to benefit us.
Break it down. Like, what privileges exactly?
Like, we talk about the wage gap, or if you look at Roe
Florida man nailed it, dude. Never wrong. Florida man coming in.
Versus Wade, men controlling women's bodies.
Even if there might be those privileges, there's also more men who commit suicide, more men incarcerated.
I think when you talk about like incarceration rates and things like that, like things that men are a victim of, I think that it's important to like recognize, like, I don't think that men are oppressed solely on the grounds that they're men. I think that men like, experience oppression based on like the intersections of their identities, which is why we see like different like lower class jobs being worked by men, or like higher suicide rates, or like incarceration rates going up, because like men, like black men, brown men, indigenous men, queer men, trans men, etc. Those people like face oppression, they experience oppression, but it's not solely due to their identity as a man.
But I think dating and
sex. Say it! Say it, because they're laborers. Say it, Griffin. You, as a man, you're a cisgender, heterosexual, white guy living in America. You are experiencing oppression. You are certainly experiencing oppression. You're not experiencing it on the virtue of being a man, on the virtue of being cisgender, or on the virtue of being heterosexual. You are experiencing it because you are a worker. You are a laborer. You are getting fucked over by your bosses. Okay? That's it. You are united with everyone else under one struggle. That is class struggle.
Sex is probably a very interesting place to think about this because it's changing field as far as like what people expect of each other.
I date in New York City a lot, and dating-wise, there's a lot that's like asked of a man. Like first dates are like nightmares.
I got a question on that, yeah.
Dude, it's like, I'm like, what do you want? They got like a checkbox, like, are you gonna pick me up? Are you gonna walk on the outside of the sidewalk? Are you gonna open the door? Are you gonna pull out the seat? Are you gonna pay for the meal? Are you gonna be interesting during the dinner? Are you gonna be funny during the dinner? And then when you walk home, are you gonna drop me off? Are you gonna watch me walk inside? And then are you gonna text me after? And it's like trying to defuse a bomb. Like if you think you're like red wire, blue wire, and you're like one little thing and you're just done. And it's like, I'm to the point where I'm like, I'm so tired of like paying $150 for a first date. And then
dude, Tate heads are like so pathetic too, but in a weird way, they like recognize how pathetic they are. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that is first skill issue, okay? Skill issue, get better, okay? Number one. Number two, like, if this is like your biggest fucking problem, then goddamn, brother, like, I mean, that's like, I can't even imagine. Like, oh man, dating a girl is so hard. It's like, yeah, no, I get that. Like, yeah, it is. It's hard for everyone. It's silly. You're being silly. Okay, he's like, oh man, I'm so fucking rizless, dude. I got none of it. Okay, zero. Shit is hard out here. It's crazy. Like, what the fuck's supposed to happen? If you look at it like it's a narrow list of checks that you have to like check off a box, like, yeah, you're gonna always have a hard time.
And then you just ghost me. And the next week, I'm like hurting for cash. I'm like, I could have really used that 150. Like, why did I?
Again, thinking this dude has to work on himself, okay? Thinking that like spending money on a first date is what is going to solve your problems is a bad idea. That's why I always say, okay, you don't want to establish the relationship on a transactional nature. Okay? Someone should want to go out with you because they want to spend time with you because they think you're interesting. They want to learn more about you. They should not want to go out with you because you're going to buy them shit. Okay? Whether it be drinks or food or anything. Now, obviously, play it by ear. But like on certain instances, you don't have to. First of all, $150 for a first date, that's crazy. Even in Joe Brandon's America. Okay? Google cheap date ideas. Put it into Chat GPT. Okay? Do it. Here. Let's look. What is it? Chat GPT. I've never actually used it before. But here, let's try it. Oh, fuck. I have to log in with an OpenAI. God damn it. Okay, someone Google Chat GPT that has it and go and write into Chat GPT, you know, please, can you give me cheap date ideas in New York City for someone who is fucking however old you are? Okay? Put it in there. You'll get ideas there if you can't figure it out on your own. $150 is crazy. Also, no, it isn't, dude. $100 is the bare minimum at least, and she's going to look at you like a loser. You are not a good source for dating advice. You are a model. Man, you are so fucking silly, dude. I was not always this good looking, nor did I have money or clout. Shut the fuck up. I hate when motherfuckers say this shit. Dude, you're literally saying, la, 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 don't hear you, don't want to fucking hear you, don't want to fucking hear you, I have to spend money. No, dumbass, you don't. You just have never even thought about it. If you set the footing, okay, as a fucking pay pig, if you set the footing as a goddamn pay pig, that's all you're going to stay, a pay pig. So keep oinking, 31-month subscriber. Okay? Stop. You literally are cucking yourself before you get to the fucking date. What are you, the Democratic Party? What are you doing? You already are operating on the expectations that you have to pay for a date. $100 minimum. No, I'm not talking about how much dinner dates cost, dumbass. You're missing the point. It should not have to be that. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is fucking free. Okay? It's free. Literally free. You don't have to. They say like, oh, it would be nice if you give some money, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Go to a fucking park. I get pussy, my guy. I'm trying to help people that could be on what? I'm trying to help people that could be on the cover of GQ. What? I'm losing it. Bro. Go on a bike ride or walk around the city. Exploring a new area on foot or by bike can be fun and an inexpensive way to spend time together. Have a DIY spa day. Do facial, manicure at home, and relax together. Volunteer together. Mirror organizations looking for volunteers. You can spend time together while helping others. Attend the free event in your city like a concert or comedy night. There it is. Fake pay to date women are after sugar daddy advice from that chatter. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's fucking so stupid to just like start off on that footing. Like you're cucking yourself, dude. You should not be expected to pay for shit. Okay? And you don't have to. You literally do not have to. I just gave you for free 99 a way to even find the ideas. Okay? Not just like I didn't just give you the idea. I gave you where to find an unlimited pool of free ideas on what to fucking do. Stop thinking that you have to pay. You are starting off on the wrong foot. Relationships should not start off transactional in nature. Who gives a fuck? If you're confident enough, you can let it ride. If the other party's expectation is that you have to pay for my fucking meal, and you have to take me somewhere nice and expensive, then that's not a good person. That's not for you. If you're not the sugar daddy, if you don't have the finances, then why the fuck are you going after sugar babies? A good person, a good partner for you is going to say, oh my God, I would love to go on a date where we visit the Metropolitan Museum of Art. There you go. Literally, ChatGPT gave the same suggestion I did. How many times have I said, know your own worth? Don't talk to women that don't want to talk to you. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Stop trying to get pity pussy, okay? Talk to people that value your time. If a girl doesn't respond to you, stop fucking begging. Alpha male, masculine PUA advice guys will say, oh, you're putting the pussy on a pedestal. You're putting the pussy on a pedestal. No. You just are insecure. So you think that's the best you can do. The best you can do is not someone who does not want to spend time with you. Okay? The best you can do is someone who wants to spend time with you. If you have some self-worth, you will not go after women that don't want to be with you. Why are you pestering them? Why are you annoying them? Move the fuck on. Okay? This is the type of advice I give all the goddamn time, but people just fucking forget about it. And again, don't think that you have to pay. Don't think like the only reason why someone will want to spend time with me is because I have money. Because you don't. You're broke. Most of you are broke motherfuckers, okay? I'm not, and I still don't do that shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't. In my most financially secure moments, I've never been like, well, the only way to fucking go on a date is by, throwing out the fucking red carpet. That's stupid. That's so dumb. There's a reason why I had the Toyota Camry for the longest fucking time, which I still do, but my brother's using it right now. I use it as a filter for the most part. Okay? Because in Los Angeles, there are a lot of people who are looking for a sugar daddy. That's fine. As long as it's a consensual relationship, that's great. But I'm not that. I'm not him. Okay? if you have a problem with my crusty ass Toyota Camry, then I guess, it's not going to work out. If you're expecting a nice car, fancy fucking car, well, then what are you doing? What are we doing here? Shadow's missing the point that Guy's issue isn't that he was paying enough for the dinner. It's that he thought women were crazy for wanting him to be interesting. Yeah. That's what you do when you feel like you have nothing else. It's the saddest thing. Motherfucker living in New York City and pays $150 for food. Bro could literally go to anywhere that has a hairy Italian and it has a 65% chance of being good. A 65% chance of being good. What? This guy, bro, he's hitting the ancient tomes. Amount of body fat men have to lose to be considered attractive as in 1010 when compared to women is crazy. I know thin people get an upper hand, but a guy to be hot has to be shaped. It is pretty sad. Even Amaranth was talking about this earlier today. I believe she has a good perspective on the feminine side as well. Or are you going to say she has a biased perspective? Like you literally went in, crafted a narrative, found supporting evidence from Amaranth. Is this a copy pasta? Am I answering a copy pasta? Like this is a joke, right? Please. Nope, that's not a copy pasta. He added on to it. Bro, what's up with my 22-month subscribers? Like, oh my God, I have like 2-year+ subscribers out here behaving in crazy ways, dog. What is happening? Please, guys, you're embarrassing everybody. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I've led all these men astray. Wrong. I've always had gamer gut, and my current and ex-girlfriends are all really fine. Way out of my league. They just don't happen to go here.
I have to, you know what I'm saying?
Like the trade-off of like going on a date and as the man being like, oh, this sucks, I have to pay,
is the man.
As the woman being like, oh, this sucks, I might get murdered, is like a pretty big, imbalance.
On a first date, should the man or whoever identifies as the man on the date pick up the check? Show of hands, who thinks yes?
Yeah, should is a weird.
Yeah, should's a weird way to put it.
Okay, sorry. How would you put it?
I very much love gender roles. I like masculine men, and I want my masculine man to pick the check up. My friends seem to be the same. My girlfriends seem to want that as well. But I have a male friend who was naturally doing that. And with the dates he was going on with women, they were offended that he took the check. So I think hey, if this woman doesn't want him to pay and she wants to show she can pay, go off.
I think it's a matter of preference. If someone picked it up for you, you develop a kind of rapport, respect with that person, so be it. If the other person, the woman you're with doesn't want that, then maybe it's not the match for that person. So I think it's dependent on the situation.
I think that there's such a thing as financial abuse. And men seem a lot of time, because they spend, that a woman has to be under them or owes them something.
Wake up! I think that's when you get toxic.
Me personally, I love to take care of my partner. I love that feeling that I give them, that they're taken care of when they're with me. And that's when it's with friends, anybody. If you're with me, I got you.
Where is it? Your advice only works when you're attractive, behave, and pay for dinner. You ain't Brad Pitt. You're an average dude living in Florida. What? Copium. Dudes will literally only fucking... Dudes will literally grab on to anything they can to say, no, it's not me, okay? It's not me. I can't change myself. It's not that I'm insecure, even though everything I'm fucking channeling through this anonymous chat forum is that I am literally the most insecure man on the fucking planet. Okay, but it's not that insecurity that is like, riding me to my core. It's actually because I'm just not attractive. It's because of this. It's because of that. No, man, you are the problem, but it's not your fucking looks that's the problem. Okay, it's your lack of belief in yourself that you can change certain things, and it's your blind. It's your blind spot to just any kind of issue that you might have that you need to work on, okay? Holy fuck. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to fuck, Margot Robbie. And if that's your expectation, I don't know what to tell you. Just like at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if your expectation is you're going to avoid those ads without subscribing, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to subscribe at the top of the hour if you no longer want to see those ad breaks. Okay? It's just the truth. Now, you can do that for $5, or you can do that for free with a Twitch Prime. Or you can do that by getting gifted a sub. I can't feel my legs. Oh, God. Help. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Wheelchair Andy 7. What the fuck? Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. So, hey, Bozo, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. That's a weird sequence of gifters. I'm not making that up. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Anyway. Did you already comment on this? No, I did not comment on this at all, but good for Eric Andre. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Great Scott 1605. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. You're 100% correct. And I've been working to improve my style and lose weight, which has been improving my confidence. I know I have to work on myself, and that's okay. Luna Lux 9. Thank you for the 20 gifted subs. This guy come back with anything? No, he just literally dropped this fucking incredible copy pasta in the chat, mentioned Amaranth by name, and just left, okay? He made his mark on this community, and he left. He, like, peed everywhere like a dog and marked it and left, dude. Respect. Most women are as insecure about dating as everyone in this chat. Oh, 100%. And on top of the regular insecurities that men feel, women also have additional insecurities in the form of physical insecurities, like vulnerabilities. You know what I mean? Will this person be fucking creepy? Will this person, like, try to, sexually assault me? Will this person murder me? It's something that, like, is impossible for us to understand. It's just, if you're a guy, it's not going to be something that you can comprehend. 748 out of 10? That's crazy. That's a little low for that ad break, honestly. Anyway, yeah, what are we going to do without men? Men are being ruthless towards other men, and it's happening in this chat. That segue was way better than a 748.
Like, I guess what I'm hearing from you, Andre, is that there's, like, a lot of pressure to inhabit the masculine side of the social expectation, and yet you might not get the benefit that you would have expected generations ago, and that puts you in a weird position.
Yeah, well, we live in a city where there's 8 million people, and a lot of these girls, especially if you're really attractive, guys are hitting on them all day. So they feel like celebrities. You got so many options. I don't blame you. I'd be the same way. It becomes
There's
like
always somebody better.
I think technology has a big part to do with that now. Like modern times, like online dating, Instagram.
Especially as a girl.
Yeah, the 3. Oh my God. Yeah. No, that's manly. That's masculine. Is, again, chirping, okay? An endlessly masculine concept is constantly fucking complaining about how, like, sexy ladies get hit on a lot by other dudes, so they have an inflated sense of self-worth. We gotta bring them down a peg. That's what a man does. It's like, no, dumbass. Even in your own construction of what it defines to be a fucking masculine person, you're a problem solver, okay? And if you're a fucking problem solver, then solve the problem. The problem is you, jackass. Not that like sexy ladies get hit on all the fucking time, so we got to bring them down a peg. The problem is you. You're insecure. And you are entitled on top of that. You think like all these women that maybe may or may not be currently because of your inability to assess and inability to like, demonstrate your own self-worth are out of your league. They're not out of your league, but right now they are specifically because of those insecurities that are just fucking shackling you down. Okay? You and your inability to solve those issues, to self-reflect and solve those problems internally is what is stopping you from achieving success in this field. You are too steady on that copium, okay? You're hitting the copium too hard. And a real man, by the rigid, defined structure that you uphold as what it means to be a real man, would not put up with that shit. They would assess, okay? It's like going and trying to play basketball with motherfuckers who are like 6'8", okay, in the NBA, and getting upset that they're just tall. Get better. Become a better shooter. Work your fucking ass off. You're not going to get taller. That's not a terrible example at all. What do you mean? I mean, obviously, you're not going to make it to the NBA, but like, you know what I mean. Pre-watch Piker nailed it. He's podcast pilled. Can't just be better. Can't just say be a better shooter to men. No, man. You learn. You learn to work with your strengths and you learn to avoid your weaknesses. Okay? Also, attractive women that get fucking hit on all the time, unironically, are not in, like, they don't have a sense of entitlement. It's the opposite. They're getting hit on by people they don't want to fuck all day, every day. So they are literally constantly on the guard. They have their guard up. It's the exact opposite. Oh, that chatter was joking about becoming a school shooter. My bad. I meant jump shots, okay? I meant 3-pointers.
You're going to have 30 DMs a day.
Oh, poor women. Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it sucks. If you're constantly fucking fielding people that you're not interested in all the goddamn time, yes. And they're being weird as fuck, especially because most dudes demonstrably are rizzless and don't know how to fucking navigate through the space and have a sense of entitlement. They end up coming across as toxic. And yeah, that creates a sense of like additional insecurity, vulnerability, and a fear that like the next guy is going to be fucking weird and ruthless to you as well.
Yeah, the DM.
You know what I'm saying? Swipe it up on your picture.
I think that's a big reason why it can be tougher for some men.
Not successful.
I think what he's saying is there's a toxicity to femininity as well. There is a toxic side to both genders.
Well, I think any
And they're acting like girls don't turn down attractive dudes. If they were to talk to these attractive motherfuckers, they realize shit isn't so sweet. That's the funniest part. All these motherfuckers always say, Hasan, how could you personally understand this plight? You're an attractive guy. Okay? Okay, but I get rejected all the fucking time. And then when I say that, they go, oh, it's because you're not hot, idiot. You're fucking stupid. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm both at the same time, depending on what suits your needs, okay?
Anybody can be narcissistic, but I think that it's like weird to randomly attribute that to like women in New York because they're being complimented all day.
There's a term, it's called absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, but that is
look, even the most even keeled, masculine, confident, minded individual still ultimately is like falling into that trap that like, yeah, some women just like get this crazy sense of self-worth, this inflated ego, okay? Even he's doing it.
When we're talking about masculinity, that's what we've had. We've typically had that. We can do whatever we want, and we do it because we squeeze, we corrupt, we take. Historically, you take over things, places that you don't like, and you rape the women, and you take the gold, and you do what you want because you have that power. Now, when we see women have that power, we're like, whoa, she's literally just getting a taste of the power that men have had.
No, I don't think this is correct. No, he's like still doing it in a feminist way, but he's not right. Because I do not agree with the underlying premise that like women who are getting hit on all the fucking all the time, women are getting hit on all the time, and that's why they have this like inflated sense of self-worth, and that's why they're fucking putting men down. Why do I not feel that way? Because I have women friends, okay? That's it. I have attractive women friends, okay? And I know what the fuck happens when I will never fully personally understand it, but I know what happens. Like I know what it looks like. Okay? I know. Why are you guys Haas-modding me? Holy fuck, dude. Shut the fuck up. No, he's wrong too. It's not empowering. Women that are constantly getting fucking hit on by dudes that they don't want to fuck, that they want no business, who also have this sense of entitlement, ironically, are not building a fucking inflated ego. Are there women who have inflated egos? Of course there are. Are there dumb women out there? Of course there are. There are hella dumb broads out there, okay? Just like there are a fuckload of dumb men. But that doesn't mean all women are a certain fucking way. You have to be able to recognize, like, okay, is this person just like ego Andy? Or maybe the reason why they're like hyper defensive or not, responding positively to my advances is because either A, I'm just not the guy, or B, they're getting hit on a lot by dudes that they don't want to fuck. And dudes respond weirdly. So now they're just closed off. Oh, trust me, bro. I am that guy.
For centuries.
But on the flip side of this perspective of dating, of like the poor guy who goes on these dates and gets ghosted and it's a struggle to date. On the other side of that is men have more sex, men cheat more, they have more affairs. So if I'm a woman and I'm looking for a guy, I would be really selective. I would have a list of what I was looking for.
You know what's funny about this? Like, Christian has his take because he has a lot of female friends. That's why he knows. Again, it's not just about like being around a lot of women or fucking a lot of women, being a straight guy who like dates around a lot or whatever. If you don't have like normal human female friends that you are in platonic relationships with, okay, you're just not going to comprehend this. Christian, as a gay man, has a lot of friends who are women that he is not sexually attracted to. So, of course, he understands that side of it even better than the woke guys here.
And the guy would have to meet those standards and they would be high.
I think that over the last several years, the Me Too movement has given a lot of insight into what women are feeling in the workplace, what they're
Hassan is so entitled. He gets hundreds of thousands of chats a day. Of course, he's not going to read mine. I'm not hot enough. Entitled motherfucker. Good one, chatter. Fuck you.
experiencing how they're being abused and otherwise silenced, how institutions of power have kept them silent. And we've heard some really awful stories and some terrible shit. I want to hear from you guys what you think about what the Me Too movement did. Has it gone too far? What does it mean for you?
I think it's good for women to expose men who are doing evil things in the workplace. I think it's been a good thing in exposing sexual abuse. There's also the opposite side of that coin where women are allowed privilege to do certain things that men are not.
And the New York City guy acts like he doesn't have a list of requirements for the women he dates, which we know isn't true. He wants to date 10s without bringing anything to the table. That's the other side of this coin. Whenever like guys fucking constantly cry about like, women always want the best partner for themselves. Women always, female hypergamy. It's like, bro, are you a fucking loser? Are you a fucking idiot? Are you not a human being? Are you saying to me unironically that although beauty is in the eye of the beholder, you personally are looking for someone that you do not find attractive to you? Because attraction is a personal concept. So you're literally telling me you want a bad partner. Okay? You want a partner that you're not attracted to? Shut the fuck up. Of course everybody wants the best possible partner that they can get. It's so stupid. Like, yeah, of course, you have preferences, they have preferences. What the fuck's wrong with you? Shut up. Nobody's out here being like, nah, dude, you don't understand. I love frumpy ass, ugly ass women, dude. That's my favorite. It's like, that doesn't make sense because you might consider someone to be ugly, but another person is going to find them beautiful and attractive, okay? That's how this shit works. So you can't personally be like, nah, I want someone who literally is just ugly. I want someone who I am physically repulsed by. That's who I'm going for. I as a guy. But these bitches out here, they're looking for hot men that they find attractive. How dare they? It's so dumb.
Or not. So in the workplace, I was working at a place where a woman was grabbing me inappropriately, doing things that were inappropriate. And when you bring that up to your coworkers, you know what they say? They laugh and they say, you should be excited, right? So if a man is sexually abused, the stigma totally changes.
Well, I don't think Me Too necessarily like is what prevented people from believing you and your story. And like your story is valid, like I'm not here to suppress that, but I do think that like it's worth noting women are far more likely to be victims of sexual assault.
You just experienced a little bit of weakness that women feel most of the time.
When we're talking about constructs, you know, you guys are saying we need to deconstruct masculinity. I'm saying there are unequal biases with both genders.
When it comes to it not necessarily being as viewed as valid, it happens to be the case because of other men, though. You know what I'm saying? Like other men are.
That's all. Whew, goddamn, they're so good. Bro, 21 minutes in, no notes, okay? I've mostly just spent my time yelling at chatters who don't fucking understand fundamental lessons that these men are laying down. Men are good, dude. 2023, men are so back. The boys are back in fucking town, baby. What is happening right now? What is happening? 21 minutes of this video and like no notes.
People that downplay that, and that's where we come back to the talk of, you know, patriarchy and things like that.
Was put in place by men and is enforced by men.
Well, and I went for a walk to get dinner last night, and I walked several blocks because I wanted to check out a few things, and it was dark. Not a single time did the idea that I would be physically or sexually assaulted cross my mind. Not a single time. Now, I can imagine that doesn't really work out for women.
It comes down to biological differences. As a man, you're more likely to be able to have more of a chance to fend off someone attacking you. As a woman, not really. So that's why, you know, we have things like mace and tasers or having a gun.
Is it something about it's hard to admit that you're a victim?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And to complain about it. People look at you like, remember Terry Crews? He can get his nuts squeezed and shit.
Right. It's like, why didn't you do something? Why'd you let him?
Look how the world ridiculed him. You know, oh, you ain't do nothing. Like, oh, you a bitch. You know, so we as men, especially guys that grew up in super masculine houses, we don't really like to admit weakness.
Well, and it's in our language, right? Like, don't be a bitch. Like, don't be a pussy.
Right.
Like it's very real.
We internalize that.
Yeah. That's all examples of like toxic masculinity. Like it's never to invalidate somebody's experience, but like it must be obvious that like these are rules and roles enforced by men and created by men.
Well, and toxic masculinity and power kind of go hand in hand. I mean, we're talking about peanut butter and jelly.
You know what it is? I think sometimes we got to go to work, and like if we're caught complaining about it, we're like admitting weakness. It's like, you're not a man.
How does that feel?
It doesn't feel great, but that doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do. If you talk about a little bit of pressure that goes with it, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure. If you can withstand it, you become a successful man.
But what does that have to do with being a man? Like, surely like a woman can do all those things, so why even attribute it to your gender?
That's a good point, but I think also, if you're talking in terms of biological differences, generally, men are more logical, right? More reasoning, more factual.
I disagree.
Okay, that take in and of itself is illogical. Like, so you just betrayed your biological predetermination, I guess? Is that what happened? How did that happen? How'd you do that?
There's no scientific backing for that whatsoever.
I just think it's a commonly used stereotype. I mean, I'm
So
not.
what
I guess maybe talking about, okay, you guys can say that. I think more about me. Like, I'm more of like a logical, factual-based guy. Like, I have emotions, but, I don't.
Except for what I just spat out, which is fine. I guess, sometimes we all have our moments.
Don't let that deter me from what I need to do, like my reasoning.
Do you talk with people about your emotions a lot?
I mean, I have friends. I have close guy friends I can talk to.
You do?
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing came out where like guys these days have fewer than 3 friends. Like it's hard for men to make friends with each other.
I think that's a big problem now in modern times because you hear about the suicide rates going up. I think that's a big reason for it. Men aren't allowed to talk about it with safe people. So if you talk about masculinity crisis, that's the crisis right there.
I think that men find friends very easily in terms of like, oh, yo, you lift 240, I lift 242, let's spot each other like basketball or whatever. But I think that we have superficial relationships in those friendships, in which like it's very like surface level, like coming back to what you're talking about. We don't talk about feelings and things like that. That comes back to how, you're brought up and how like boys are taught in certain ways how we go about talking to each other and how we go about expressing ourselves.
How much of this is men putting ourselves in a little box? I can tell you, I wouldn't have shared my emotions with people when I was younger, but I have people in my life now who I feel completely comfortable sharing my insecurities, my vulnerabilities, how I'm feeling. That ends up being one of the reasons why men end up with limited friends. Because, I mean, how many people can you actually feel like you can be open and honest with?
But there's something holding people back.
Yeah, and I think it's us. I think we're doing it because we're putting ourselves in this masculinity box, if you will.
I think that vulnerability for men oftentimes is viewed as surrender, and like that is that's an example of weakness in which like someone can possibly take advantage of it, or it used to be viewed as such, where it's like, all right, cool, like he cried, oh, that means he's soft, so now I can challenge him.
And this is something that I really struggle with. As a black man that grew up in the hood, you couldn't be soft. You couldn't come outside. You know what I'm saying? So you had to take on this persona in order to be a quote unquote man. As I got older, I realized I still had to do that with women. I had to be a certain way for them to look at me as a man. And if I didn't perform in that manner, they also called me a bitch.
Yeah, they want a real, like...
Right?
Poster.
So it's like, as progressive as I may want to be, is the world accepting of that as a whole? Because even if the other men don't like it, but the women like it, I might be like, I don't care what the guys think, as long as the women like it. But there are spaces where the women will be like...
True. Women uphold the patriarchy 100%. It's true, motherfuckers. Holy shit. He's right. Now, they are not 100% responsible for it, obviously. No one would make that argument. But Vice is literally sexist. This is literally an entire panel of normal-ass dudes plus Christian Walker, not conservative podcasters. What the fuck? This is way more insightful. Yeah, I mean, even Christian Walker, who is supposed to be the right-wing mouthpiece here, is like doing a fairly decent job maneuvering through this landscape and not even leaning deep into his like reactionary tendencies in the same way that like the feminism panel 100% had at least 2 individuals in it that were just going absolute bananas mode. You know what I mean? I think they probably thought the God guy and Christian Walker were going to be like pumping out some psycho narratives, but they just aren't on this, on this subject matter in the same way that like that fake Australian woman, the fake Australian doctor and Pearl was doing at the other panel. It's crazy.
Look at him. He wants a finger in his butt. Sorry.
No, let's talk about fingers in the butt.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not my type of guy. He's not my type of guy. And I can't be open with sex or accepting having gay friends.
That's what you like?
But I can't, right. You can't be open about certain things because then you become questionable and you're pushed out of the safe space.
Sex is a difficult thing for men to talk about even with each other, especially if you do have some kind of kink.
That's because women are less reasonable? No. You think that there aren't insane men that they could have put on this panel? The only one guy that, like, unironically resembles the chronically online fucking loser Andrew Tate fan is the dude in the back right corner, okay? And he knows to shut the fuck up in the situation. It has nothing to do with, like, women being less reasonable, dummy. I mean, I know you're probably joking, yeah. But, you know, they're just not. They just did not choose some fucking sick freaks in this circumstance.
Because you're not allowed to be vulnerable. You're not allowed to be weak. You're not allowed to fail. And a lot of people that, when you say the suicide rates, you give up because you have nowhere to turn.
I kind of disagree with you on the fact about that pressure is causing. I think it's more the lack of support and guidance for a lot of guys. Like, they don't know where to turn. Like a lot of guys, you know, suicide, I think, is like when you lose hope, right? So they just don't have hope.
What about not wanting to go get it? Because there's places to be. There's people to go. You can go to church.
I mean,
you can go to therapy.
As
There's
much as
places
you
to
say
go.
that, but I don't feel like, you know, when you say guys don't want to express weakness, I think taking that step is hard for a lot of men, because then that expresses weakness. It's hard for a lot of guys.
You know what's interesting? That what I'm hearing is that as men, you also are victimized by the sexist expectations of masculinity.
It also makes it hard for men to love themselves and love themselves enough to understand that they're in trouble, you know. And I know that's something that happened in my life. It was before I did finally go to therapy and get the demons out that I needed to get out.
This guy's
it took
awesome.
Me meeting a woman who actually made me want to love myself.
This is Cutter, dude. This is Cutter, and everything went right. Okay, straight up. He's about to serve everybody fucking rib corn. Okay, a nice hefty portion, a healthy serving of rib corn coming your way, ladies and gents.
You found a woman who gave you peace and changed you a lot. Well, great if a man is dating a woman and she doesn't like that he's not masculine enough. It's kind of like, to me, I feel like too bad for him. He should go find someone else. That's part of the dating scene. Everyone has things that they like and things that they don't like.
I feel like your preference is your preference, but at like some point, I think it's like noteworthy and responsible to like understand where those preferences or like originate.
Not necessarily. I think our life experiences form what we really want in our dating life. And because I grew up in a broken home and I didn't have a man in the house, I want a man who gives me security and protection. I don't think me deconstructing masculine is gonna do that for me. I was missing that in my childhood, and that's what I want in a man.
I tend to diverge from like the Freudian daddy issues stuff when it comes to like what
Congratulations,
people like.
I'm so happy for you. I want a man.
Yes! They're getting catty! Oh! Oh, shit! Oh! I like this. I like this. By the way, surprising, but like, I don't even think Christian Walker said anything like all that wrong. I can't believe I'm saying this. Yes. Like he was like that was like a reasonable disagreement for both people to have. Like, it wasn't like across the board crazy.
It gives me security.
Thank you.
I think
Freud.
if I'm with a woman and the bad dates I've had is when I'm like talking about my problems, I'm complaining about something, I'm not gonna see that woman. If I'm projecting more strength and I'm more charismatic, I'm positive, I'm probably gonna see that woman. So I think as much as like guys, you know, you want guys to be vulnerable, that doesn't work a lot of times. And I think it just comes down to that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it is. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
And it sounds like a lot of you are saying that's wrong.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying
and
it's
it's
wrong.
like-
I'm not saying
it's like-
wrong. I think it is what it is.
I just think that society teaches you have to be a certain way.
Wait, I missed it. What was it? I fucking wasn't.
I'm not gonna see that woman. If I'm with a woman and the bad dates I've had is when I'm like talking about my problems, I'm complaining about something, I'm not gonna see that woman. If I'm
Wait, what? Bro, he said if I can't fucking trauma dump on the first date, like, you know, you're not for me. I don't need a lady. I need a therapist, okay? Healthcare is expensive, and mental health and you know, therapy That she's even more expensive because it's usually not covered, okay? So guess what? I'm trauma dumping, bitch, okay? First date, you're going to hear about all my problems. And if you don't want to put up with that, then, it's not happening. You're going to listen to me talk about all my podcasts. You're going to
projecting more strength, I'm more charismatic, I'm positive, I'm probably gonna see that woman. So I think as much as like guys,
Oh, he said they are, wait, dude, he is not doing a good job describing this. Holy fuck. I think he's saying if a woman is trauma dumping, he's not going to see this woman. Or is he, wait, what?
Thank you.
I think if I'm with a woman and the bad dates I've had is when I'm like talking about my problems, I'm complaining about something.
Oh, no, I got it
I'm not
right.
gonna see that woman. If I'm projecting more strength and I'm more charismatic,
Women expect you to be strong is what he's saying. But yeah, if you're trauma dumping on a first date, no shit. Like, it's not gonna work out. That's not a good date. I've been on shitty dates where I was not in the right mental mindset, didn't have the right attitude. That's, you just take the L and you move on.
Positive, I'm probably gonna see that woman. So I think as much as like guys, you want guys to be vulnerable, that doesn't work a lot of times. And I think it just comes down to that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it is. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
And it sounds like a lot of you are saying that's wrong.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it is what it is.
I just think that society teaches you have to be a certain way.
And that's really...
And that's my issue. Because
Right.
if this is who you are, your character, right, it just blossoms into this person that loves to pay for dates, loves to open doors, and loves to walk in the house, then that's fine. But when society tells you that from a young boy, that's the only way to be as a man. This is the only way to be. And you think about things like, say, people on the down low that don't want to come out till later because they're scared of societal pressures, right? You should be able to be whoever you want without society telling you you have to be this way in order to fit in this box.
Pressure is on like the body. Like pressure is to be buff, to like look good.
There is a certain pressure, I guess you can call it, for guys to look a certain way, especially if they're trying to attract women. So I think it comes down to just men who look a certain way tend to look more competent. They can protect.
I was just gonna add on to what you were saying. If a guy looks fit, if a guy looks strong, okay, as a girl, she's probably thinking, if I'm on the street and somebody tries to do something to me, I know that he can handle it.
I also think generally, like, guys who don't have the body that they're looking for, or generally, they're not as healthy. It's not just a look thing, it's just a health thing.
Yeah, that's it.
The body and mind are connected. If someone is strong, they're probably gonna look strong, and they're probably gonna feel strong. So I think when you say it's a pressure, I think it can be construed as a healthy pressure. Hey, get strong, be strong, because you're gonna be a healthier and more mentally fit individual.
For example,
right,
I
baby.
was a gymnast, and I think, the training that I did not only trained my body, but it winded up training my mind and making me a stronger human, period.
As the skinniest person here,
Pretty skinny.
you skinny? All right, as the second skinniest person here. No, it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you do. I've had a bunch of girls like friend zone me, and I'd be like, why? And they're like, you're just too skinny.
I love this guy, dude. He's so dumb. What? Dude, what? This guy's my favorite, I think, on this panel. Yeah, man. Like, girls, they'll be coming up to me saying, nah, you're too skinny. It's big boy season. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, no, you're friend zone now. I love people like this because, like, there's almost like an air of confidence that comes from the recognition that they're stupid. You know what I mean? He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of dumb. Whereas, like, the other guy, for example, the podcast guy is like, yeah, actually, hypothetically and critically thinking, you need to put on a musculature and muscle mass. And he's just like using all these words. I'm like, no, you guys are both dumb. Like, Just own it. This guy, I own it all the time. I'm a stupid person. This guy's like, yeah, I'm kind of fucking stupid. And these bitches, like, they want a fucking big boy, you know? They tell me all the time. It's awesome. I'm a skinny, dumb guy.
And I'd be like, damn. I mean, they kept it so real, I can't.
That's, yeah,
But I'm
kind of
like-
him to say that, yeah. Is saying that there is a good and natural connection between, like, feeling good, healthy habits, looking good, and that there's a masculine ideal to that of some sort. Does anyone disagree with that here?
I do. Body diversity exists across like multiple spectrums, and I think that it's unfair to like only attribute like mental fortitude and like mental strength to like physical strength. Not having like a perfectly in shape body doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy by any means, and I also don't think it necessarily means that you like lack mental fortitude.
I don't think I'm saying that to look strong is the only way to be mentally strong. I think as long as you feel like you have a competent physical body, I think that's going to benefit your mental health.
How do you define competent?
Yeah.
I think in terms of what you're trying to do. So if
He's right, though. You 100% need to be jacked to get laid. Look at bodybuilding pro Harry Styles. 140 pounds of pure testosterone and muscle. Also, more examples, like Pete Davidson, another fucking very obvious example of a dude who's juicing. Okay? I'm sick and tired of this shit, this lie. Okay? And if you want to really see motherfuckers who are just absolutely swimming in pussy, okay? Hold on, I'm going to find it really quickly because it was a character I sent to Felix recently, one of my favorite new people, okay? If you want to see a guy who's like swimming in pussy, okay, I present to you Nick the Mutant Walker, okay? I mean, obviously, ladies want one thing and one thing only, and that is muscle daddies with varicose veins at the age of 28, okay?
No matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance.
Women love dudes who just have never stopped cycling. Okay? Women love dudes who just don't stop the cycle because, you know, God forbid. Yeah, women love dudes who look like a chicken McNugget. Exactly. Don't lie, ladies. I'm sorry. We just lost 24% of the audience because they are all offline jerking off now. Okay? Straight up. Every single lady in the chat is like, oh man, I have an uncontrollable desire for muscle. And goddamn, I am so horned up.
But if
I
you're
can't
disciplined,
watch anymore.
You go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
Listen, this man has reached a body type specifically designed to, I mean, he went so far that even dudes probably don't look at this guy and go, that's crazy. This guy goes, you need to tone down the PEDs. Unfortunately, you're not going to see 40. Women love when you're so yacked that you can't. Why do his veins look like that? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why do his veins look like that? Steroids, motherfucker. This is what happens when you never stop cycling. Like never, ever stop the cycle. This dude's an ape. He started gorilla season and never stopped. He's natty. Yeah, dude. Yo, shut the fuck up. He's natty, bro. You're just jealous, dog.
You are an uncommon breed.
I think this is the video I sent Felix.
You know, you have to know within yourself When the hard times come, and they're going to come, you've got to be an uncommon person.
Bro, I've never seen varicose veins like that on like a 20-year-old guy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. The only thing I'm jealous of is that because he has so much muscle mass, he probably needs to eat like fucking 4,000 calories a day just to keep that shit going, just to not atrophy, and that would be pretty fire. You know what I mean?
Okay. Demon just got out of can.
Mutant shaming. He looks overweight with a shirt on. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Are you a student? Like,
why does he still have a good hairline? Because some dudes are blessed with that. Also because he's very young still.
What are your endeavors in life?
Me?
Yes.
I'm a student athlete.
Okay. What kind of sport?
I'm a springboard diver.
Okay. Do you train to do springboard diving?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel good when you train and you do well on the springboard?
Yeah.
I think that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. If you feel competent at the endeavors you're trying to do, I think that's what contributes to it.
People who are saying, are we body shaming? What that dude did to his body is literally beyond impressive, okay? It was impressive like 18 cycles ago. Now it's just weird. It's like the fucking Barbie doll plastic surgery woman, okay? No one's going to sit here and talk about like a normal rhinoplasty and be like, oh, I can't believe you did that, you fucking idiot. Okay? But everyone's going to fucking talk about the Ollie London, okay? That's the difference. He is, my man is out here looking like a Ninja Turtle, okay? Straight up. My man cannot masturbate, dude. You're really going to tell me that's body shaming at that point? It's like normal, you know? Motherfucker can't jerk off, dude. He can't reach his penis. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm body shaming, but like it's okay sometimes. Okay, it's fine to a certain degree. Jesus Christ. He comes to the friction just by walking between his thigh meat. You can say that about fat people? No, dude. Society is not... Dude, stop! Stop! You're so dumb. Stop. No. Dude, how much do I talk about fucking Canute? Okay? Canute also juices. I respect and admire the dedication he puts to his craft as a bodybuilder. I love bodybuilders. I fucking, I'm a fan, okay? You know this. There is a level beyond that though, okay? That's crazy. You're being crazy. It's literally the difference between, as I already gave you an example, it's the difference between like making fun of someone for getting fucking a rhinoplasty or some shit versus someone who is like Ollie London. Yes, I'm going to make fun of that, man. That's crazy. A good artist knows when to stop painting. Yes, exactly.
Like non-athletic people who may not be in like the same physical shape as like an athlete would be, right, who are competent in what they're trying to do because that like action has nothing to do with like their like.
So that's where I disagree with you. That's where I disagree with you. I think some people who don't realize the potential for their physical to blend into your mental is something that needs to be talked about. I think it's undervalued.
It's not that you have to work out to have a competent mind. It's that working out does help with competency. We already know when you work out, endorphins are released, people feel better. There's so many times I wake up, I don't want to go to the gym. It's going to be the worst day ever. I'm in a bad mood. I go, my endorphins are released. I'm great. I'm woken up. Like we have the science for that. So
especially I think it plays very little. We've had presidents in wheelchairs that were very confident, successful men who couldn't walk. And so I'm going to say that it doesn't define you as a man.
But is there societal pressure to be in shape for men.
I don't-
And then when I don't like when my stomach, when I'm having sex and my stomach like is over her butt or whatever, like I want to eat less, me, but
Paul can
nobody's
change
like, yo,
that.
you're fat.
We've spent all this time like deconstructing masculinity and all these things, but then it seems as though if a woman or someone dating says, hey, I want a swole guy, suddenly it's like, sorry, I don't think that's a societal pressure. That's what that woman wants and she's entitled to have.
But
that.
I also, you know, I have body type.
Yeah, I agree with
preferences.
that.
Like I'm not gonna say what it is, but there's certain girls where I'll go on and I'm like, you don't really have what I'm looking. I don't say that because that's the dick, but in my head, I'm just like, this isn't gonna work.
So
I
it's
think
one
that's
thing to have
fair.
a preference and another thing to make like a sweeping like conclusion and then like broadcast it everywhere.
No, people are entitled to date their preference.
Because when you look at statistics, they say that, what is it, like 70% of CEOs are over the size 6'4", for example.
Oh, let's go, dude. Yes, let's go. Short rights.
There is amongst men a pressure to be bigger, and bigger men tend to be in charge. And that's proven, statistically proven. And so there is a pressure for men who are naturally smaller, naturally overweight, naturally not as fit, to become fit or to become bigger.
Oh, and everyone
Or become tall. Yeah, baby. Yeah, buddy.
of us here have heard little man syndrome. We've all
Who hasn't heard that
every one
saying?
of us.
He's got Napoleon syndrome. He's got little man syndrome.
That's a thing, though.
There's nothing you can do about it, and that's where it becomes harmful. Specifically, like short king spring or whatever. Like a person, I mean, you can't like. I mean, there is like I guess like on Twitter I've seen like people getting a surgical procedure to break their legs and add 6 inches to their height or something like that.
It's stuff you can't.
You know what I mean? It's like, but like besides that, which is like a really expensive procedure, it's also like comes into socioeconomic background and things like that as well too.
And
it's like you literally can't do anything about that. I think that's where it becomes harmful. Which like, all right, like if there is the pressure in which like I can't date a person or I can't like get a position or I can't do X, Y, and Z because I'm not a certain height or something I literally cannot change about myself. What now?
What is big dick energy?
It's when confidence crosses the line of arrogance. That's exactly.
I don't
People have told me I have
agree.
BDE.
You have BDE?
Yeah, people told me I had BDE.
You didn't.
No one has told him that. But he does have a level of confidence. No, he does. He does. He has a level of confidence that comes from being like being aware of his stupidity. You know what I mean? Like, no, he's funny as fuck, dude. He's just like, he's so funny, dude. He's just like, yeah, dog, I'm kind of stupid. I'm kind of a schlub. Like, I ain't got no money. I'm broke. No, it's awesome.
In that back room.
Not to show off.
Right? Even he said, look at that.
I think BDE is like just a confident man. I don't think it's an arrogant man. I don't find arrogance to be big dick energy. I find it to be insecure. If you're arrogant, you're trying to like, I
find it so odd to equate somebody's like the size of their genitals to like the quality of their character. Like what? That's nobody's
It's a lot of
business.
It's more of just like a metaphor.
I don't agree though.
Yeah, for confidence.
But
It's not really like
then it comes back. Now we're getting into like a deeper conversation, which like some men see a value based off the size of what they're carrying between their legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's why the conversation of big dick energy comes into place because people feel as though like a man that's like more that's packing more down there.
Bro, this is literally like, this is like gender theory. What the fuck is going on? You brought a bunch of fucking Normans in a room and they're literally like assessing like value attributed as a consequence of the patriarchy or patriarchal expectations and like how what cultural gender norms are and how that like ends up harming men. What is happening right now? What the fuck? This is literally CRT.
You know what I mean? It's more like, one, they're better in bed. They're like more confident people. They're exuding a certain energy. So that like the stereotypes, so the stereotypes associated with having a big dick.
The lack of a need to overcompensate to society because you're adequate.
You know what you got.
You
You're
walk
confident.
with confidence because you can tell when somebody's putting on because they lack in certain ways. And men, me and people I know, equate manhood and masculinity to their dick size and how much money they got. Like, it's like, yo, you feel more confident.
And sometimes that kind of stuff bleeds into violence. And you see that in domestic violence situations, like men are like the perpetrators of that by and large. There's something wrong with masculinity when it becomes violent.
100%. I also think because of testosterone and a number of different things, men are inherently more violent.
But being able to control it, that's
we
the
should
important.
keep
It's being able to
self-control.
control
That's where
it.
the responsibility comes in.
Yeah.
I think you know you hear the whole saying like it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, and I think there's a lot of wisdom behind that saying.
Oh, Jordan.
Bro, this guy's brain is fried from looking at like every inspirational quote Instagram account that's like also basically a botted account to shill cryptocurrency rug pulls, okay? It's like, yeah, dude. He saw that. Like, he 100% saw that on one of those Instagram accounts over like a lion, you know what I mean? Over like a photo of a lion. Like, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war. Be a gardener in a war. That's right. Yeah. It's just, dude, just please. Which, yes, you are incredibly correct. He is literally a live, laugh, love motherfucker, okay? He is. That is the male version of live, laugh, love.
George Orwell said, people sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. I think that's a big thing, but the key is to be ready, to have the ability, and also the humility and the confidence to not use it unless it's absolutely necessary. I don't think we teach boys that enough because I think promoting violence is extremely toxic.
Is there something inherently violent about masculinity?
Inherently violent? I don't think so. No? I don't think so. If a majority of men were bad, evil, violent, a lot of us would not be sitting here today. Okay, we'd still be in the Stone Age. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of push back against that idea that inherently men are violent, inherently masculinity is bad, is violent, because I don't believe that that's true.
Why do you think that such a vast majority of mass shootings are done by men?
I think that's a mental health issue. I think that, and this is why we're talking about men in crisis. Yeah, because men are more willing to do what they have to, to not do what they have to do, but to take action in terms of that. And that's how we talk about this, men in crisis. A lot of those mass shooters are males because a lot of males, they don't know how to have an outlet or to find outlets to talk about what their issues are. That's what it comes down to.
We know that these mass shooters, most of them are white males. We know that. So when I talk to a lot of white males that have traditional values, say, or maybe a traditional upbringing, they feel like they've been made to be the villains of society. And so I feel that pressure a lot of times. I feel like, hey, like when we're having this conversation, even I hear words like patriarchy, traditional society, right? So I feel like I'm being put in a box and made to be the villain. And I hear this from a lot of white males. I feel like I'm the bad guy. I feel like I'm the villain. So maybe at some point, mentally, they're breaking and becoming that villain. They're becoming.
Yeah, dude, that's why. Men are going Joker mode. That's what it is. They're going Joker mode because the society is just turning them into that. Come on, bro. Like, half of the stuff that they talked about literally was so good. It's about like accepting your flaws, seeing your insecurities, working on them. Like, that is unironically one of the things that would prevent you from becoming that.
That monster that they've been made out to be.
Be the exception. Yeah. If you're worried about being put into a box that is one that is like clearly harmful based on like what people are doing, then don't do that. Mass shooters is like obviously like a sensitive topic, but a lot of them are like men with like little to no friends.
Do you believe that has some truth, or is it just men brain rot? No, dude, there's The idea that like men are made to be villains and that's why that happened is so fucking stupid. Like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. You're taking like literally all matter of accountability away from people who are engaging in acts of violence. That's so stupid. It's like, oh, you made me this way. You made me this way. It's so silly. Oh yeah, I hated how much like woke liberals were talking about like gender norms, so I became this like transphobic Nazi. No, you had it in you. You had that dog in you. Now, are systems also responsible for this? Of course they are. But you still have this delicate balance. Like you got to work on yourself all the time. Okay? You have to work not to be that way.
Who like go out and in like a burst of rage commit like atrocities, and I don't think that it has to do with how they're hardwired as men. I think that it has to do with how society like treats people like that.
I agree with you on the point that men need support and they need someone to talk to and talk about these issues.
I don't think that men have been taught emotional intelligence throughout life, right? We know, so we respond with anger. All right, if I'm disappointed, if I feel resentment, or I feel contempt, or I feel embarrassment, or I feel jealous, or any of these things that fall under that one thing, we respond with one way. And if we learn how to communicate better, if we were able to say, yo, you know what? I resent that you spoke to me that way. Or, you know, I feel jealous, you know, of whatever. If it was okay for men to express those things, we wouldn't feel a need to just go, you know what? Fuck you.
You can take any two 3-year-olds. You take a 3-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. I have 2 girls. You know, their first instinct is to lie to me, to manipulate me, to say their sister said this when she didn't. I have a friend that has all boys. You know what they do? They throw a fire truck at your head. Bam. That's a natural response. That's not a learned behavior. They're taught.
Oh, that's totally a learned behavior. And you give kids only like cars and gun and G.I. Joe action figures and give girls Barbie dolls. Like you.
I don't think you could say it's one or the other. I think there is some interplay between both.
Thank you guys for your honesty, your like willingness to go to uncomfortable places, willingness to debate one another. Yeah, I'm interested to see like what sticks with me like in days to come after our conversation, because I think so many things were raised in such sort of a diverse perspective group.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah.
That was not bad at all.